All right, Jenny, thank you. We're following breaking overnight news out of Oshkosh this morning, where 2 people are dead after a train collides with a car. Our crews were on the scene overnight as Oshkosh's crash investigation team worked to piece together what happened. Here's what we know so far. Just before 11:30 last night, a car on Washington Avenue was hit by a train right near Broad Street. 2 people in that car were killed in the crash, and a third was sent to the hospital. We don't know how badly the third person is hurt. The Washington Avenue crossing was closed overnight while investigators worked the scene. Officers have reopened the roads just under an hour ago is when we learned that. We called Oshkosh PD and they say they don't know what led up to the crash. They did tell us, however, they don't believe anyone on the train was hurt. Also breaking overnight, Green Bay Fire believe one person is dead after falling through thin ice into the East River. The first call came in around 11:30 last night. As fire crews rushed to the scene, another call came in saying the person went underwater. Dive crews in ice rescue suits searched where they fell through. After 40 minutes of looking, they called off that search, knowing someone could not survive that long. They plan to try and recover the body this morning. GB Metro Fire is reminding people to stay off the ice because we haven't had cold enough temps to solidly freeze the water, especially on rivers with strong currents. Tonight's game at Lambeau Field, where the Packers will take on the Vikings, is going on as planned despite a scary 6 minutes yesterday afternoon. 5 cars were damaged when a 40-year-old man tried running down a former coworker in his car through Lambeau's parking lot. The suspect chased the victim into the stadium's loading dock, where he crashed into a storage area and was arrested. It took police only 6 minutes to make that arrest after getting the first 911 call. A lot of people at Lambeau say police responded so well they didn't even know anything was wrong until their relatives started calling them.
I got a call from my niece, so you turn around and said, "Are you guys okay?"
We got from our nieces,
our daughter,
and everybody's like
a daughter to make sure we were okay. Yep.
We figure we're in good hands. The police and whoever in here take good care of their people.
Well, the suspect is a 40-year-old man on a probation hold. Police aren't naming him until formal charges are filed, so we are not naming him at this time either. Well, police say the suspect got into a fight earlier this month with a coworker, and he was fired from his job because of it. The victim he chased across Lambeau's lot is that coworker. Police are now figuring out what to charge the suspect with.
Certainly a charge of an assault with a deadly weapon, using that vehicle to ram someone else in their car intentionally and then chasing that person with the vehicle. Certainly felony charges for assault with a deadly weapon. I don't know what the suspect's criminal history is, but it's certainly a very dangerous thing to do, and you could argue that this guy was trying to kill this former coworker.
No word this morning on how much damage was done to Lambeau in the crash. Green Bay police are looking for a man who robbed a Subway restaurant on the city's west side and possibly others. It's the latest in a series of restaurant and store robberies carried out by a man armed with a knife. This latest robbery happened just before 8 on Thursday night at the Subway restaurant on West Mason Street. Police say they're going over security footage of the robbery now.
A lone person walked in, held the clerk at knife point, and took an undisclosed amount of cash from the store. The clerk was told by the person to go into the freezer. We're still analyzing some video from the business, the neighboring businesses, and trying to make a connection, so to speak, like the other ones, to see if we have the same person doing it.
The suspect is described as 5'8" to 5'10" with medium to heavy build. You can find out more details about the similar crimes across the Green Bay area on our website, WBAY.com. A new protocol at Oshkosh's Whitman Regional Airport seems to already be working as 2 snowy owls are rescued by a trapper. Wildlife workers and many of you were upset to learn a snowy owl was legally killed after getting too close to the airport runway. That led officials to put new rules in place. Whitman Regional will still try to scare birds away from runways, but now if that fails and there's no serious threat of a bird striking a plane, the airport will bring a volunteer trapper. That's exactly what happened this week when a falconer using a bow net safely trapped 2 snowy owls. The birds are now at the Feather Wildlife Rehab Education Center in New London, who says they shouldn't go back to Whitman after they're released.
But I would think if we're going to take it far enough, I said there shouldn't be any there shouldn't be any need for it to migrate any further. Because they're down. They've been down for quite some time. They pretty much have their pattern of where they're going to spend the rest of the winter.
Wildlife workers say the new protocol is off to a pretty good start. The first check from Foxconn to buy the land for their future Wisconsin home is now in the hands of the village of Mount Pleasant. How much they paid and how many acres of land it buys. Next.
You're watching Action 2 News This Morning Weekend Edition with Aisha Morales. Coverage you can count on.